I notice you do this a lot, especially on Twitter, right? Is, oh, well, that's dumb, but then you don't explain it, so then the people that are listening to the argument, they're like, well, what the fuck? Like, what do I even extrapolate from this?
That it's dumb.
Okay, but you have to explain
Because you
that.
just say.
Wait, are you arguing that I don't debate every person who tweets me?
No, I'm saying that when you choose to engage with arguments, you like are selective in how far you'll go with it. Like,
yes! So here's a crazy post. This is like a schizo meltdown post, right? And someone wrote, Keem is a sexist and a piece of shit. I wrote back, lol. So would you say that it would be a better personality trait?
No, but that's not a good idea to engage with. That's obviously a bullshit idea. And that's obviously something that is not worth talking about at all. Nick, you can show me as many examples as you want. These are not substantive arguments. They're calling her racist, Nick. Obviously, that's a bullshit argument to engage with. Obviously, you would never engage with that.
Why is it obvious? You haven't quantified.
Because they're calling her racist, you asshole. Of course it's not fucking a real argument. Flamingo gave an argument that Pokemon was comparable to DSP, and you completely dismissed that. If Flamingo brought up an argument that Pokemon is racist because she said when she was like 15 years old, then obviously that'd be a fucking bullshit argument.
Oh shit, all day, pray them niggas go away. Oh, we sell the clowns around, it look like circus show. This is not the album either, these are just the throwaways. This shit's still so cold when it drop, it's gonna be a motherfucking snow day.
Dude, I'm so lost right now.
We're in the middle of dismissing Belle Delphine. I can't believe you're making me do this to her.
Bro. Wait, I'm so lost though. Because like, you're talking about the conversation we had last night. Wasn't the conversation we had last night you assuming that my issue with you was your tone in arguments?
No, I think it is your issue.
It's like, it's not.
That's my opinion.
Wait, how?
Right, can I explain?
Because that is directly contradictory to everything I was saying last night, everything that I clarified like 10,000 times.
So can I give you my understanding of it like as quickly as humanly possible, and you tell me where you don't agree?
Sure.
Okay, so I think when we were talking at the end, Flamenco was arguing back and forth with me about just like being dismissive in general and like not wanting to argue with people on Twitter was bad, and that's why people are criticizing me. I think initially you said that you're dismissive of people on Twitter, which I later found out wasn't just to the random person, it was to somebody more personal. But I guess by the end of the conversation, you were very clear that you were talking about like in the debate forum, like as a kind of an out. Like if you're basically I'm dismissive in conversations, and the reason I would be dismissive in conversations is probably because like I either don't want to engage with the point or I can't engage with the point. Or yeah. Otherwise it's tone. So is that what you mean?
Well, nobody's arguing about like tone though, because that's what like blew me away, right? Because like what you were doing last night when I brought up my point was like, well, here's 10,000 examples of me calling somebody dumb on Twitter or whatever. It's like, no, that's not my issue. It's not my issue if you call somebody stupid or if you're like fucking mock them or use an ad hominem or whatever. That shit's funny and it's fine, and I do that shit too.
I know you do it too.
The problem is like when you're having a well, yeah, because you think that my argument is something that it's not, and I'm just confused because like I've explained it like a million times, and I just don't understand. Like I'm telling you like X, and you're hearing Y, and I just don't know how. But like basically, like when you're having a serious conversation, not some like random fucking bullshit on Twitter or whatever. When you're having like a serious conversation with somebody, and they bring up a point, and you're like, "Ha, you're an idiot." Ha, you're fucking stupid. I'm not even gonna talk.
All right.
Whoa, you're fucking stupid.
So,
oh my god, that's not even worth addressing. The audience is just like, All
right. So what would you So okay, in that instance, can you give me an example of me doing that?
Yeah, last night with Flamenco, and then with me, and then I mean.
No,
honestly,
no.
like,
what in what part? In what part?
Well. I don't get it. Like,
Augie, I'm still asking for. I gave you like a day to make an example.
Bro, I'm giving you the same examples.
Then just give it me again. Give it to me again.
Okay, all right. Let's go through this conversation again. Okay. All right. Flamenco. He brings up DSP. You're like, ha, that's.
I'm pretty sure me and Boblax, and I think even you said that was stupid when he first said it. Did you?
I didn't say that.
You didn't say it was stupid. Did you say like, I disagree with that? Because Boblax immediately said, yeah, that's.
I didn't say anything verbally.
Okay.
I didn't.
So we ended up fleshing that point out like a half hour later. Was it extremely stupid?
Right. Not really, because I think what happened was you cut Flamenco off. Flamenco wasn't saying.
I can listen to it again. He literally said they're not alike at all.
Whoa. Hold on. What my understanding was Flamenco was saying this is his argument had two parts. The first part was Pokimane is comparable to DSP, but Pokimane learns
No.
her lesson.
That's not what he
DSP,
said.
And that makes her not a
No. He said the way Pokimane handles criticism is similar to DSP.
They're all saying I'm too low.
Oh, okay. The way that... Alright, how about now? Test.
Yeah, what's up?
It looks like it's the same audio on mine.
Alright.
Because you were way too high when you came in, so I adjusted. I must have overcorrected. Okay, so he said that the way that she handles criticism is comparable. I can show you the clip. I have it, like, queued up. I played it before. I just have to scroll back.
Alright.
Here. We can walk through it again. Got it. Channel playlist. He literally, like, walks out of his own point. Monday, October 11th. Scroll.
Okay, so real quick.
Got it. Banger, dude. I have the ability to find an exact second in a stream. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, you're in? Alright, yes, you're in. Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick. My rationale is both
Oh
of
my
them
God.
have used copyright
I don't
to
care.
go after people
I don't
that
care.
they believed were damaging their brand.
Okay, dude, tons of fucking people have done that. They're
Except-
not comparable to Dark Side Phil. I'm sorry.
Do they still do it after they get called out for it?
Flamenco, if your whole argument is that Pokimane learned her fucking lesson, there are so many
That's
easier
why she's
ways.
not a lolcow. Yes, that's my argument. Yes.
Okay, Flamenco, sure.
That's why she doesn't get that's why she doesn't get like dedicated
Sure, buddy, dude.
That's why
Dark
she
Side
doesn't get
Poke.
dedicated. That's why she doesn't get dedicated people like talking about every stupid fucking thing that she says compared to like somebody like
So
Bad
your
Bunny who
argument
doesn't learn
for-
from what her
Wait,
her,
Flamenco,
her
so
mistakes.
your argument on why they're comparable is because Pokimane isn't a lolcow and isn't like DSP.
Right,
We
and
can keep going, but like his argument is that they're different. That's why they're comparable. Like they don't do the same thing. So his argument is that Pokimane is similar to DSP because they've both made a copyright strike on somebody they supposedly.
He's saying they've exhibited the same behavior in the past. However, one is
dude,
better
I'm
than
sorry,
the other
that is
because
not
somebody
comparable.
learned.
Because if fucking DSP is going around
Ow.
doing this constantly to everybody who talks about him, and Pokimane did something 3 years ago, that's not fucking comparable. That's not
Okay,
even
that's
remotely.
fair.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So then, and his whole argument is how they're different. Like, let's keep going. Wait.
They're treated differently, correct?
They're treated differently. Why are they treated differently, Augie? Presumably because they're different, because they're not comparable. Okay, so I win. So they're not like DSP.
Right, they're
Move on
treated
to what-
differently. They're treated differently, correct?
Okay, so your argument is that they're like similar, but in reality they're not.
No,
So
I'm saying is that they do completely different things and they get different treatment because of it.
Who defines comparable as they do completely different things and as a result are treated differently?
Okay, that's fair. I wasn't. You realize I wasn't like.
I'm
but
just
Nick,
saying, but that's I knew this is. I didn't know it was going to be
you
this
realize
slow,
I
but I knew that
wasn't,
was a
like-
stupid point.
Okay, but you realize I wasn't like arguing with you because I thought Flamenco just like laid some like incredible takeout, and I was like, oh my god, that was the greatest point I've ever heard.
Dude.
Nick, you must engage. My point was, it was that when Flamenco brings up a point, like he's willing to go through every single one of your points, but when he brings up a point, you're like, ha, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
That's not
debating
even worth
flamenco is
conversation.
extremely
Ha!
debating flamenco is extremely stupid. I'm debating Boblacks, and we're talking about one grounded situation. I debate flamenco, and then there's a fucking thing about prime Ks and cancel culture. Then we go on to is DSP
do you
comparable?
notice that
Then we go on the
after-
DSP is fucking comparable. Then we move over into my fucking issue with spooky weeb trash and like her lolicon adjacent comment that I guess I don't know whatever. And then fucking like defense or whatever. And then we move on from there to talk about like me as a person and like how I fucking like discount people. Dude, it sounds like instead of being extremely dismissive, it sounds like I put up with a lot of fucking deviations from the legitimate argument we were having about Pokimane across 90
Well,
minutes.
yeah,
And I don't know, dude.
eventually we did get to that topic, and when we did, you ended up coming out on top over that because you and Flamenco ended up agreeing. So, like, I don't know why you couldn't just, like handle it from the start. Like, it was like a 1 minute sidetrack, right?
Okay,
when you
bro,
and Flamenco finally
so
talked
why
about
would you
it,
not? All right,
it lasted
give me-
like a minute.
Give me a reason why you would assume I wouldn't want to talk about lol cows with Flamenco. Can you just give me like one reason why I would want to not drive the conversation to like literal lol cows?
You guys are talking about Pokemon's character.
Yes.
He's bringing up a point that she's like somebody else. You're saying it's not topical. I don't know. It's an example. It's like, like I just,
dude, I don't.
You don't have to talk about the history.
The reason
of DSP
why we're
or
talking about the
fuck.
history of DSP is because Flamenco didn't know the history of fucking Pokimane in a debate about Pokimane, because he was arguing that fucking It's a Gundam with his like video that he made on Pokimane, like there were legitimate fans who were donating that money, and those like comments that Gundam talked about in his first Pokimane video were like actual like fans who were like going into fucking, like, I don't know, not sending their kids to fucking daycare or taking their wives on vacation. That's a point that not even Gundam stands by.
Yeah, that's great.
So
though,
if he doesn't
but,
even know,
you seem to think
he has no idea what we're talking about, and he's dragging us all across the fucking world into 70 different topics. Why do I have to sit here and go on every single tangent that Flamenco has? Why can't I just talk to Boblax, who knows what he's talking about and made a video on it a week ago?
I mean, you can do that, but you understand like what that looks like, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. I think
no,
I was
I don't know
like,
what that looks like. Debating somebody who has
what,
no idea.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
just look
dude.
at the chat, dude. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
And you seem to think that like I have an issue with like tone or like you being an asshole or something like that.
Well, no, actually, I don't think that you do. I think a lot.
Actually, you have to be dishonest if you think that I think that. You have to be dishonest right now.
All right, let me give. All right. So I think that a lot of people who took away from that video had an issue with my tone. I think a lot of people who were talking about it were criticizing when
what did
ad
I
hommed.
think?
Well,
I don't care what other people think. What do I think?
Well, I don't know. My issue with you is this whole situation.
Exactly,
right,
dude. Because I spell out my exact issue with you, and then you extrapolate. Oh, well, you just think I'm an asshole. No, I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm an asshole.
I don't really know
too,
how
dude.
to
It doesn't
explain it,
matter.
because then what's the issue with me talking about?
I don't know how to explain it either,
dude.
because I've explained it multiple times. I've gone through my argument 20 times, privately and publicly, and you just extrapolate. Oh, you think I'm an asshole.
What is the issue with the way I conduct myself in debates?
The issue is, I think you just like, I think in some debates, you just think you're like higher than the other person, and you think that you just don't even like have to address their argument. And I think it shoots yourself in the foot.
How do you think I'm higher than that person? And so you're telling me
if
like,
you had debated,
so if I take away when you say that you don't like my smug tone, is that totally out of the realm of possibility?
It's not your fucking tone. Dude.
Okay.
How does tone come into this?
Well, you just said that I think I'm better than the person I'm talking to. That's a sign of smugness.
That has nothing to do with tone.
If I sound smug, that doesn't have to do with tone? Do you know what smug is?
No, it's not you sounding, it's you being. Like, what do you mean?
Okay, so like, what do you mean?
I'm saying that you dismiss people. I guess when it's like convenient or something. I don't really know.
Who do I dismiss?
Flamenco, like.
But I was right. Yeah, I dismissed him, and then we had the conversation, and then what he said was brain dead. I was right.
But Nick, that proves my argument, because if you had just engaged with them instantly, you would have looked fucking Chad. But instead, you were like, "Ha, you're fucking stupid, dude." And then the whole chat was just like, "All right, well, you lost because you just don't."
I don't care.
They just assume that you don't know how to conduct yourself.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
I don't know how, dude.
That's insane.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I just don't know how you can extrapolate that I'm like mad that you're like an asshole or whatever. When I
well, wait,
like,
where did you? All right, so what was the reason you made that tweet?
I actually felt like.
Why did you make that tweet? The one that you made before.
Well, the reason. Like,
yeah, the reason I'm bringing you on. Like, why did you make that tweet before?
Because I was listening to your stream, right?
Okay,
and
that makes sense.
You were sitting there.
Okay.
What?
Because I don't know. For some reason, my chat told me you made that tweet before I went live, and then I was live for.
Well, no, I was listening to your stream.
3.5 hours. All right, that makes more sense then, because I was trying to figure out what I said. That's why I was asking chat, like why I would say that you in particular. And you can go back to listen to it. I don't think I said anything wrong. Was there anything in particular?
I just don't know how you can
with?
think that I have an issue with like ad homs or something like.
Well, I think a lot of people have an issue with ad homs, and I think honestly.
Yeah, but Nick, like I'm not a lot of people though.
I don't know. If you're gonna like the way that you describe that, it kind of sounds like you had an issue because I sound smug when I talk. And to be fair, like a lot of people do. Like there's a lot of people who talk to me who say I just sound like a smug dipshit. A lot of people say actually Boblax after the stream was over brought up like the Opie's
but
weird
so
stories
does Destiny or whatever. For instance, I watch a shitload of Destiny debates or whatever. But it's like here's an example, right? When Destiny's like debating Nick Fuentes, and Nick Fuentes is talking about I don't know the fucking Holocaust or something. Destiny, like, he might say something along the lines of, like, oh, that's fucking stupid, that's fucking insane or whatever, but then he engages right after the fact, right? If Destiny were to enter debates and somebody would bring up something insane, and Destiny's like, ha, that's fucking insane, and then he just doesn't respond, even if he's technically right, he still loses because, like, he's not engaging, he's not participating in it. You can't say you win an argument if you don't even participate with the points being brought up. That's what I'm saying.
I want to know, what did you first say? Because I think I'm right by the timestamp over here. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Augie, so I answered the Flamenco a chance.
Explain it. So then the people that are listening to the argument, they're like, well,
Who tweets me? Okay, here.
extrapolate from this.
That it's dumb.
Well,
Yeah, but this is what we said last night. This was the source of the issue.
I mean,
because we ended off on
answered,
Pokimane is not comparable to DSP.
Yeah, we answered flamenco. So, but why couldn't you do that before though? Like, I just don't understand like the way.
Because I didn't expect it to be that stupid. I thought it would be like an hour conversation.
But yeah, because you didn't
stupid.
even give it a chance in the first place. That's why.
Okay, I apologize. Next time I'll give Flamenco a chance.
Okay, well, that's all my critique was, is because it's not in just this debate. I noticed you do this a lot, especially on Twitter, right? Is, oh, well, that's dumb, but then you don't explain it, so then the people that are listening to the argument, they're like, well, what the fuck? Like, what do I even extrapolate from this?
So do you understand why I hear that and I come away with the fact that you think I can't, like, shit on people on Twitter?
I mean, from that one clip, maybe, but when I had clarified my point 10,000 times before that, no, I don't understand.
Wait, that was when you. That was the first
that.
time you mentioned Twitter, and that's why I continued to bring it up the rest of the conversation. So obviously, I didn't get that because I didn't understand why you'd open.
Oh,
up
well,
with,
then if my clarifications came afterwards, then yeah.
Yeah,
but
like that was your opening point on like how
Nick,
I treat
acknowledge.
people. Yeah.
You have to acknowledge this. I literally like you showed me all the examples. We went through the argument 20,000 times.
Okay.
We went through it again off stream. I clarified my stance 10,000 times.
Yeah.
And you kept walking away
Because
with
I
the
thought
exact
you walked
opposite.
it back. Because I thought you walked it back.
I said the same thing over and over again. How could I have walked it back?
No, you didn't say the same thing the first time. You clarified it and you changed the statement. But like okay, so this is my mental walkthrough for this. You're telling me that I dismiss a lot of people on Twitter. So I brought up examples of me dismissing people in the last 3 days, and every time that I told you I dismissed them, you're like, well, yeah, that guy's retarded. And I go, yeah, that's why I dismiss them. You understand why that makes me like insane? Because if you're telling me that like I'm dismissing retarded
I'm not talking about
people,
Joe Schmo who's saying like debate me on the fact that Pokimane has 6 fingers or whatever the fuck. Like you don't have to engage with that.
Wait, but how many
obviously
people am I
fucking, like,
actively
random.
debating on fucking Twitter? Like who am I actively debating on Twitter like recently that like would matter? Like Joe Schmo, obviously I guess small YouTubers are fucking like random fans don't matter. So then all the time I'm apparently arguing with YouTubers on Twitter.
It's the conversations that you take seriously, the conversations that you're actually engaging with, right? Like if I were in the rest of this conversation just be like, that's retarded, Nick. That's not even worth me addressing. That's just fucking insane, dude. That's fucking nuts, dude. I just say that every time you respond, then I just look like a jackass.
But like if you
know what I
started
mean?
on Twitter, you obviously had something in mind. And you say I do it often on Twitter,
maybe.
and I don't engage a lot with YouTubers on Twitter because most of them already
I don't
have
know,
me blocked.
dude.
So I don't know
This
what you
is the
mean by
problem.
that.
I don't
that makes
have
me,
every call with you memorized.
Okay,
I don't have a dialogue in front of me of everything you've ever said. I don't know.
No,
I can't pinpoint like, oh, well, on September 3rd at 8:32 p.m. when you were debating Boblax about pizza, you really dismissed him in this. Like, I don't have that memorized in my fucking head.
Yeah, and
you know
every
what I mean?
time
Like,
I dismiss
so I can't
Boblax
just-
at a private call, we're not in a debate setting, and I'm not currently engaging with a legitimate argument, so that doesn't even matter. But my point is, like, if you obviously had an issue with the way I conduct myself on fucking Twitter or whatever, and you say that I'm like being fucking rude to people on Twitter, and I'm explaining
It doesn't not you're focusing on Twitter. I'm just talking about conversation in general, whether it takes place on Twitter,
Well, I
in a-
wanna know
in
where
a
this
call or
came
on a
from.
stream or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
I
mean, you've
told
done
you
it
in
with me
private.
before.
I don't. Yeah, I'm whatever. But like, if you can give me an example, I can work with it. But until anybody gives me an example of where I'm like steamrolling them and I'm
I'm
totally
just like
ignoring them.
going through my head right now. I think like one time, like I don't really want to talk about private conversations though, unless you're fine with it.
Yeah, sure.
Well, if you're fine with it, then I mean, we can do it.
My problem with this is like nobody can give me an example of where I'm steamrolling people, and everyone says I don't do it all the time, and I can't fix my situation if I'm
I don't
doing
know if you
anything
do it
wrong.
all the time, but you definitely do it sometimes.
Okay,
On Twitter, right? Is, oh, well, that's dumb, but then
a chance.
okay, well, that's all my critique was, is because it's not in just this debate. I noticed you do this a lot, especially on Twitter, right?
It's not all the time, but I do it a lot. So, like, my point is, I just want to know, like, where is the a lot? Apparently, this is something I constantly do, but nobody can show me a fucking example of me doing it.
I mean, I gave you 2 last night, multiple times.
And then you took one of them back.
When?
The other
what?
one.
Whoa! What did I take back? Wait a minute.
The one when I explained to you the situation with Flamenco about how he was like not arguing. The
no,
same
you
point.
still dismissed him. Wait, what do you mean I took that back?
I'm
what?
I'm talking about the one where I brought up like the Vosh DMs, and you said, "Oh, okay, I understand." Da da da.
Oh, that argument, I guess.
So
yeah,
I guess there's a third
sure.
one,
Wait,
but you walked back that third one. And I didn't even let you walk it all the way back. I told you, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
I feel like that's something I brought up like afterwards, like privately though, just because like I didn't remember like what the exact point there was.
So the
I don't
reason
know, dude.
why
I mean, next time you do it, like I guess
right.
I'll point it out to you, because like I don't like record conversations or have like a file on my computer.
No,
of,
but
like,
you say I do this
here's
a lot
every time Nick
publicly. It's
pissed
not
me
like a
off
private...
or whatever, so I can just go through my secret
you understand how that's
files.
kind of weaselly, right? Because you're talking about how I often do this a lot publicly. That's why you use Twitter. You didn't like you weren't citing private conversations. So if I do this so often,
I mean, you're looking really into like shit that I was saying in that passing conversation.
Passing
so
conversation,
really
for me, everything I do is scrutinized in this conversation because I'm in a debate, a 3v1, by the way. So I have one question about what you said, and like you're telling me about like private conversations and things you don't want to leak on stream.
I mean, I could bring up like one time me and you were talking. This is in a private call, or whatever, and we were debating about like Mumkey Jones and whether or not he deserved to get banned or something along those lines. And like you rage quit the call or something. And then I think you rage quit a call with me when I was in Tommy's server once, but I forget what we were debating about.
Wait, hold on. Do you think
so,
rage quitting a call is the same thing as like just telling you you're a retard in a public debate setting when there's a chat there that I need? Like your whole issue is that I look bad in front of chat. What the fuck why do I have to debate you in a private call?
Well, I'm not
You're not
saying
entitled
you have to, but I'm just saying you walk away.
There was a time when I came on your show and I felt like you guys
away.
were farming me on debates. And I told you that very publicly. I thought that like every time I got on there, it was just another example of like Augie fucking with Aiden projects arguing with me for content. And I kind of like privately.
You really think I use you for content?
Well, no, I felt like it at the time, and I reflected on it, and I didn't. But that was like that was a legitimate thing that I felt at the time. Okay, so
because I noticed that's something you said last night. I've never heard you give me this criticism before.
Wait, hold on. You've never heard me give you this criticism before? I know we've talked about this in private with Bo Blacks, and I talked about it with Bo Blacks last night.
Oh, I've heard you say that you feel like you're like tired of coming on my show and everybody arguing with you.
Yeah. Okay,
you never
then,
said
you know,
that
right.
I was farming you.
All right. Okay, so maybe that's all right. You know what? I'll concede there. You know what? I'm using the word farming, probably not the right terminology. That I thought like everybody was like,
because like you're acting like I'm like doing this for money or something. I'm like, oh,
no.
Really come in now that I do see Nick
If
debate.
that's your interpretation, that's not what I meant. My bad. All right, so farming is like a term that I picked up recently from Destiny. I'm not saying farming is in pulling money. Farming in Destiny is like, not like Destiny the streamer, Destiny the video game, where like you res somebody and they immediately get shot down again. Then you res somebody and you're fucking up their KD. That's what I mean by farming. Sorry, I probably should
I
quantify
agree
that.
with you that people do like over argue with you. Or
But
something.
yeah, but
I mean,
you're
we've talked about that before.
Go,
I agree with you there.
I know,
but when
but
we're
like,
in the middle of an already established argument or whatever, and I have something that I feel like is, you know, not like a major criticism, but just like really just a minor critique, and it's like relevant to the conversation at the time, why would I not bring that up? Why would I just be a pussy and just hide behind that privately when I could just bring it up to you to your face and we can talk about it?
We talk about shit all the time. That's why I was okay with like the spooky weeb trash thing last night, and I actually told Flamenco after that we don't have any bad blood.
This is not like a major like huge character.
But now I'm gonna do what Aiden.
It's just a minor critique.
Now I'm gonna do what Bunk did to Aiden. I'm gonna drag you back on this one. So you're saying that I go around publicly on fucking Twitter and I fucking like stonewall all these people, but you're not talking about any of the smaller minuscule fucks that you know I do this with constantly. You're not talking about those people. It has nothing to do with
size, though.
But wait. But then you're holding me to account. Then you're but you're also. All right, so hold on. Point 1, point 2, point 3. Point 1 is that I apparently dismiss people publicly, but we can't get any examples of it. Point 2 is that apparently I'm doing this stuff in private.
I mean, I could point you an example today.
Point 2 is that I'm doing this in private calls. And point 3 is that the reason this is bad is because it makes me look bad in public debates. Do you understand how point 1, point 2, and point 3 don't logically track? And do you understand why if we're going to get into a stupid argument in private...
I actually don't understand how they don't track.
So if your issue with me is that, like, I'm just making myself look bad in arguments, why does it matter?
I mean, that's one issue. That's not the only issue.
So can you expand upon them more? Because I would like to know what I'm doing wrong.
I mean, I guess the overall issue is that it just makes you look like a jackass. I mean, I don't really know. Like, I don't really, there's not like a major fucking thing here. I mean, it does help you not win arguments publicly, but it also, like, I mean, if, like,
but
Nick,
why do you
what would
think,
you do right now
okay,
if I just responded to, like, everything you said as, like, it's nuts, I'm not gonna talk about that. It's fucking insane. That's not even worth me addressing. You're so mentally lower
probably
than
laugh
my
it off,
IQ
and we
that I'm
probably
not
wouldn't
going
be
to.
arguing about it anymore. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I feel like generally people watching this stream would think that I would look like an asshole and they would say that I lost. I feel like that's what would happen.
I don't.
And I feel like they would be right because I would be being
so
an
weird.
asshole.
I think that just proving somebody wrong is bad. So, like, I don't know. I don't.
You don't prove anybody wrong if you don't address their point and argue it.
But you're addressing my point.
You're not
it's
proving
not right
something
either.
wrong if you're like, oh, you're nuts, I'm not going to talk to you. You're not proving somebody wrong, you're just backing out.
Okay, so can we try to get on track?
Sure.
Okay, so, like, obviously you have a personal gripe with, maybe it's not obvious, maybe it's not even a personal gripe, actually, maybe I'm second guessing it, but
why does every criticism of you have to be something personal?
well, last night it did get personal, can you agree?
When?
So we started off the conversation talking about Pokemon, and it divulged into, with me and Flamenco talking about, like...
Wait, Nick, if you critique the titles of my videos and say that that Pyro video had a really bad title, I don't take that as like a personal critique. That's just something you're saying, hey, that was a really bad title. That doesn't look great, or whatever.
Alright, so when I ask you about me going around and dismissing people, and I probe you, and the two answers you give me is one of them is Connor, and the other one is me being mean and a call at Monkey Jones, I'm gonna think it's personal, because you have no other examples of me doing this to you, except for two that are directly personal to you. So I'm sorry if I'm misinterpreting some signals here.
I also have the Flamenco example.
The Flamenco example doesn't work, because I called it retarded, he talked, and it was retarded. So, like, I was right. Like, that's why I wanted to avoid it. Yeah, after, it doesn't matter when it happened.
I pulled my hair out to
So what am I, Nostradamus of the fucking debate? Yeah, I knew it would be retarded, because obviously Pokemon isn't comparable to Dark Side fucking Phil, dude.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and that's
I mean,
not
it's
different than the way I treat with people on Twitter.
It's not obvious to the audience when you don't engage with it at all.
And the audience is dumb. Nobody possibly would make that statement. None of the audience, nobody in the audience would make a tweet going, wow,
out of a
they're
debate, and then when they don't agree with you, it's like, they're just stupid. Well, they don't know because nothing happened.
I don't know, dude. You know, I look forward to the next time you're in a debate and people take you off on completely random logic trails for 90 minutes. I can't wait for you to be in a conversation where you have to talk about Pastel Bell in your debate on why socialism is probably more ideal than capitalism, dude.
Capitalism is fucking awesome because it makes me rich.
There.
That's my argument.
I agree with that stance. And that's why I support Amazon. I'm a big Amazon guy. I think that the mail people who don't deliver on Sundays should go out of business, and I think Amazon Prime should rule mail.
Yeah.
That's my firm stance on that. I'm like a big Amazon advocate, so I can never be seen as a hypocrite for making money on Twitch. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hope that, like, after talking to me, this kind of makes sense more why I think the way that I do. I don't know. Like,
I guess I just didn't think
this
this was like a personal. I didn't think this was like a personal.
Neither
thing.
did I until we had this conversation.
I just thought it was like a minor. Well, no, I think you thought it was personal last night. That's what you're telling me.
No, I think it's personal with Flamenco because he brought up the spooky weeb trash argument, and I think it got like personal with like whatever because you told me about like the Connor thing. So, like, yeah, I thought it was a bit personal.
And see, that's the reason why I didn't bring up Connor on stream, is because I knew this would happen. I knew you would be like, oh, well, you're only bringing up Connor because he's your friend. You're just white knighting friend.
No. So,
like, I can never,
so
I
this
can
is what
never
I would
win.
say. This is
that's my only example. I already know I'm fucked because you're just going to, like, derail it into, like, oh, well, you're just white knighting. I can't do that.
All right, that's not logically consistent with the argument that I made last night.
But you're doing it right now. You're saying, like, oh, I have some personal gripe because I don't like how you treat my friend. Dude, me and Connor argue every day, dude. We argue all the fucking time. We disagree on so much shit. If I would never get mad at you if you like hate my friend or like you debate with them.
But dude, this is the source of the problem, bro. Because when Boblax was telling me his shit,
he's just an example because that's like the person you're arguing with that you get like the most like that you do this with the most that I notice.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
Augie, now let me explain this to you. When Boblax was telling me his personal story with Pokemon, initially I didn't understand it. You know what I mean? We were arguing earlier, and then as soon as the stream went off, it clicked in my head. I'm like, dude, I can't argue Boblax on his personal fucking issue where Pokemon personally wronged him. Obviously, I have to empathize with that because that's his genuine feelings on the situation. You're obviously friends with Connor. You see Connor, and you see me argue, and that's probably not an ideal situation. I argue with a lot of your friends. I hate most of Vega's friends. Like, that's just something that happens online, right? But at the end of the day, day, I don't see your friend Connor any differently than I see retards I block on Twitter. Unfortunately, that's what I think of Connor. I think Connor is impossible to argue with.
I don't see you debating Connor as something that I like care about. Like, I don't give a fuck if you went on stream or whatever and you did a whole like manifesto on why Connor.
Because
like, I literally wouldn't care.
He's your fucking example, dude.
But he's only my example because that's what happened. Like, if my example was fucking Joe Smo on Twitter, who's actually like somebody you take seriously, or whatever. Like, I don't know, dude. Like,
if you're telling me it's
problem,
Connor,
dude. I don't give a fuck if like you go on stream and you're like, I hope Connor like fucking dies in a car accident. I don't care.
In Minecraft, Twitch. But yeah. So like,
but like that doesn't have any.
No, but I
can
empathize with your argument.
What two other men think about each other?
No,
dude.
But Augie, you don't understand. That means I can empathize with your argument. Now I understand why you're saying that. It makes a lot more sense in context that like, hey, I'm obviously being a bit of a dick to Connor, and when Augie tells me that like I'm super dismissive of people, I know I've been dismissive of Connor, and I know I treat him like I treat like, basically I treat him slightly better than I treat like a random idiot on Twitter. Like I keep him like followed or whatever because like he's actively friends with people I know and stuff like that as like a mutual, so that's basically it. And we're arguing about gay Twitter drama and it's really cringe, but regardless, it's like yeah dude, I don't know, I think of Connor pretty lowly, and I think after watching him debate Turkey Tom in a call, I think sometimes he's trolling, but then I find out that he's telling the truth, and that's like his legitimate take or whatever, and that's fine. So I just avoid Connor because he's like debating a vegan or debating like a fucking I don't want to use the L word, but like just people who are like, I don't know, he's just really dumb, and like that's the way I treat him. So like if your issue is with Connor, I understand why you feel the way that you do, because I would imagine that would probably be kind of annoying for you. But like I don't think that's indicative of the way I handle debate settings. I don't think I've ever handled the Rewired Soul that way. I don't think I've ever gone to Oki's Weird Stories and had to like lean on the fact that I am so smart on this guy and this guy is so dumb and I have to laugh him off. I sat with Oki's Weird Stories for like 100 and something minutes, dude, and that guy made the same argument to me for over an hour. And I gave him 50 different ways to debunk what he was saying. And the problem with Oki is he just didn't know anything about copyright. And that's like, okay, fine, whatever. Oki's not a big debater. I'm not a big debater either. I don't claim I'm like a fucking amazing debate guy or debate bro or whatever. Yeah, I mean, there's no way that Oki was going to win a debate when he doesn't really understand copyright or the rules around it or any of the stuff involving YouTube's TOS. But I sat with that guy for 90 fucking minutes and fleshed out every aspect of his argument before I took Boblax on for a 2v1, and then I finished talking to Boblax. Last night I sat with you for 90 fucking minutes and we talked through every single thing. You had to pull teeth a little bit for that really dumb one, but I mean, at the end of the day, we fleshed that one out too. I don't have like 20-minute conversations where I rage quit the call. So like if you're talking about my performance with people, I don't see any evidence of that. If you're not talking, like if you're talking about people on Twitter, yeah, I dismiss them all the time, but I guess like you're making it really clear that's not what you're talking about, even though that's what I think you meant initially.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know.
I mean, maybe you can find parallels in my quartering debate because I was just like floundering and I had no idea what to say. But like even in like the Destiny debate, when I knew I was losing, I never went, "Oh my god, you're so stupid, lol," and just like faked it till I made it. Like that's what it sounds like you're arguing, is that like I fake it till I make it, and that's the only way I can get through it.
Do you agree that, like, for that Oki debate, for instance, which we can all agree was a definitive win on your part, right? If you went into that Oki debate and Oki, like, laid out his, like, little claim about how copyright on YouTube is broken and YouTube's a terrible website, and then you were just like, ha! That's fucking retarded, bro.
But I did that.
And then...
But you know when I did that, Augie? Do you know what...
No, you did that, but then you engaged. That's the thing. I don't care if you do that.
Wrong.
It's the non-engagement part.
No, I engaged, and then I did that. That's what happened. Is I at that point mentally in my head.
That's
no, because people got mad about that.
People
People did get mad about that because I didn't engage
I hope
the third
this
quarter.
like illustrates. I really hope this illustrates why I don't give a fuck about tone, or why I don't give a fuck about being an asshole, or why I don't give a fuck about ad hominems or whatever. Because if you do that, that's fine. If Oki says something nuts about copyright, and you're like, you're a fucking brainlet, bro. I can't believe you would have like such a low IQ to construct that stupid point. But then you go into why that point's bad. That's fine. Nobody has an issue with that, dude. We all know you're a prick. I'm a prick. Everybody in the chat's a fucking prick, dude. Everybody's fine with that. That's why I'm like baffled at how you thought I had an issue with tone. That I would only have an issue with that if you just didn't engage. Like if you went to that Oki debate, you just called him a retard, then left the call. Can we just agree that you would lose that? Like
Wait,
that would
that's
be
what
like
you did to Tonka, and you told everybody it was a definitive win.
What? Huh?
Yeah, you
What
brought
did I
on
do?
Tonka and you like hung up on him, and then you told everybody
But
it
I
was
brought
a
up
win.
no. I brought on Tonka, and I was like, "All right, what's your issue with me?" And then you said he didn't have an issue with me, so I was like, "Well, what the fuck? There's nothing to talk about."
Yeah, but you didn't like keep him on to flesh out his
Tonka
point.
never brought. What do you mean? I literally
wait, hold on.
tried.
Me
with
and
all
Tommy
my
did that to
might
Britbong.
at any single dude. Yeah, but Britbong's a retard. That doesn't matter.
Wait. Hold on. Maybe he
tried-
had something to bring to the table, Augie.
Yeah, probably.
I engaged in a
porn.
bad faith debate because I kicked fucking Britbong
But
from
it's
our call.
Britbong. Nobody cares.
Okay,
He's
but
a
it's
fucking
but it's
retard.
Connor. I don't fucking care about Connor.
Okay, I feel like there's a difference between
There
those
is.
two
They're not
people. I just-
comparable, but it's just like, yeah, I don't care about Connor. So why would I treat Connor any differently than I would treat anybody
But
else
Nick,
I don't care about?
You can't bring the Tonka argument as like an actual point because you watched the debate. You know I was trying to
And I know you fought your
anything I could
audience
from
on it
Tonka.
afterwards because people were a bit mixed feelings on it.
Okay.
And that's
But
kind of
you
what I'm
know-
doing now, so I think you could probably empathize
But you
with
know
that.
that I tried. I fucking tried to pull something out of him, and he just wasn't having it.
Yeah,
His
you
whole
tried for
purpose
about a
was to
minute,
go up
but like
and
you pretty much you
for-
dismissed him pretty
No,
quickly.
bullshit. I tried for like 5 minutes at least, and then I wasn't gonna sit there and
Because
fucking
you know what the
play
you know what the
around
harm,
fucking Rose
dude.
with
Do you know what the
Tonka for like
harm
5
is?
or like 20 minutes.
Do you know what the harm with engaging with Tonka is? You know what the harm of sitting there and hearing Tonka out? Because unlike you, I went and did my stream, and I sat on there shitting on him for 45 minutes. And the only
Yeah, but when you went into the call, Tonka immediately had a point against you. And
no,
you,
he didn't.
There was
I came on, I
conversation
was
we had
laughing that
there.
his channel got demonetized.
Yeah, and then he brought up like actual points against you, and then you guys hashed out. When Tonka came into my stream, he just sat there like a fucking retard and didn't do anything.
Do you remember what happens at the end of that call? I sat there and I had
Absolutely.
I sat there and I had a conversation with Tonka, a good faith conversation with somebody who isn't good faith. And at the end of the call, he brought up my ex-girlfriend and started talking about her.
Yeah.
And that's all people
It's a
remember.
valid
from it.
reason to dismiss him. That's a totally. If there was ever a
I
more
had a valid reason to dismiss him far before I got in that call, but I didn't dismiss him. I had the whole conversation with him.
Sure.
Dude, all right, so now we've gone through every debate that I've ever had. We've talked about most conversations I've had, and I still have yet to hear an example of where I supposedly dismiss people other than Connor. And you expect me to believe that this isn't a personal thing?
How is a critique of you personal? Am I just never allowed to like bring anything up
Because it's your
I have to
friend.
worry about you taking it personally?
Because you can't...
Again, this is why I didn't bring it up on stream last night. Because everything. Oh, if it's about your friend, there's an ulterior motive there. No, that's just the example I have.
So, but you couldn't present it last night because you knew it wouldn't be, like, you knew this conversation couldn't progress any further.
Because I knew exactly what you would do, and I was proven right just now. Because you just said I have a personal issue with you because I don't like you treat my friend.
because you took
I'm
your issue with
trying.
Connor and you presented it
Nick,
as like a
I'm
legitimate
trying,
beef
dude.
with me.
I'm fucking trying right now to just tell you that there is nothing personal here, and I don't give a fuck. But it doesn't matter.
Well,
Do you see how this is a lose for me? Because you just don't care about what I have to say because you don't believe me.
Well,
so why would
if
even?
you're gonna make
like,
a statement
it doesn't
about me
matter,
and you
dude.
can't you can't actually back it up, it does feel kind of personal.
All right, Nick. Next time you do it, I'll fucking point it out, dude. Because you know, because you're asking me to.
I'm
keep
helping
a
you. We're
transcript
going.
of everything
I'm
you've ever
going through
said.
every debate I've ever had. The Okies Literature Club one literally could like Bo Blacks used that last night. I talked about him. We agreed that was not what it was. I'm just saying I'm going through all these conversations, and you agree I didn't do that to Oki. You agree I didn't do that to the Rewired Soul. You agree I didn't.
I mean, I gave you an example of you doing it to Flam. I gave you an example of you doing it to Connor. I gave you an example of you doing it to me 2 times.
What was the one where I
so
did
it's
it
like
to you?
I have given you an example.
what was the one where
when
I
we were
did it to
talking
you?
about like Monkey Jones and Call or whatever
Okay.
the fuck, and you said you weren't
What
entitled
was
to
the
a
one you
conversation.
claimed last
That's
night?
true. That's
You
fair.
said I did
but
it
like
to you
that's an
last night.
example.
What was the one I did to you last night?
What? No, I didn't.
You said
When?
like last night I gave you 2 examples: the way you did it to Flamenco and the way you did it to me. That's a quote from this stream about 15 minutes ago.
No. Flamenco and Connor.
No. You didn't say Connor.
Today I brought up the example
up
to me.
Connor. You talked about this before Connor.
I
was in our
did. What the
conversation.
fuck? What are you talking about,
Earlier
bro?
in this stream, you said you did it to Flamenco and then you did it to me.
No.
Yes.
You did it to Flamenco. You did it
Chat,
to
can
Connor.
anybody
and then
quote me
today
on that?
I brought up the example.
Somebody-
All right, Nick. Let's say that I did say that. I made a mistake. All right. I said Connor's name instead of, or I said my name instead of Connor. All right.
But
there.
you didn't. But
I made a mistake.
Connor wasn't in the conversation at that point. I don't know if you even knew that we were going to bring up Connor. Like this was when you
Well, I
first got
figured
into
you
the
would
call.
because it was my example.
All right. I don't know. So, you got anything else?
I don't really know. Like I hope you don't like have like a personal grudge against me. I just
I have
like,
no
fucking...
personal grudge against you. I just want to get to the bottom of why you feel like I do a certain thing, and we can't actually map it out and get anywhere with it.
I mean, I've tried, dude. I gave you 3 examples. I mean, any like debate club will tell you like 3 examples is like the fucking magic number.
Yeah, but you gave me one example where I was right.
I guess like I guess next time I'll. But you were right in the argument. You weren't right in the fact that you acknowledged that you dismissed him. I'm right in that example.
Okay, so what's the difference between dismissing his conversation in a debate where he said something outrageous and dismissing someone on the H3 subreddit when I pull up a tweet and laugh at them? What's the difference?
Because usually the H3 subreddit is saying weird shit like Keemstar is like a rapist or whatever, like obvious arguments that you don't have to like engage with.
Is fucking... Wait, what do you think the Pokimane Dark Side Phil argument was? Like, I legitimately laughed at that. That wasn't performative. That was really dumb.
Okay, I'm just saying if you want to maximize effectiveness or
Wait,
whatever.
but maximize
like,
effectiveness, but why do we do it in private? What does it matter if I don't want to debate? Because one of your examples that we argued about Mumkey Jones in private, and I didn't want to have a private debate with you off platform. Like, aren't you the guy who says like if we're gonna do something, we'll do it publicly?
I guess.
What does me like? Do you think you're entitled to my time to have a personal debate with me in private about something?
I just think if I like bring up a point with you and then you like rage quit and leave the call or whatever, I mean that's just a fact. Like I don't really know.
All right. So I rage quit a call in an unknown timeline approximately a year ago. I'm rude to Connor the same way that you've accepted that I do to other people on my Twitter timeline, and I was right about a situation with Flamenco, which happened in the same stream where you're talking about how I do this a lot on Twitter, which you weren't able to provide evidence.
Okay, I guess.
Well, do you understand why this is like so fucking like stupid?
We're so lost in the weeds at this point.
There's
I don't
no
know if
weeds
this
to be
conversation
lost.
really matters
I'm pretty
anymore.
sure we're on. I keep holding us to the same topic. You just don't have an answer for it.
I mean, I guess like every time you do it, I'll make like a little catalog, and the next time this conversation comes up on stream, I'll drop my manifesto of like times that you've like done this, and we can argue about it, like Spurgs or something. I don't really know.
Would you categorize that conversation last night as dismissive? Even though we went through every topic except for incels?
I mean, yeah, initially until like I fucking pulled my hair out to get you to like address that one point, and then you did.
What did that one point add to the conversation? It added nothing.
I mean, does it have to?
Yes. If we're trying to stay on target, and Flamenco is consistently taking us off target.
I mean, I did you a favor, dude. You looked like a jackass up until that point, and then when I like got you to address that point, then like the
okay, but then after that, you like went after me.
Then the chat started shitting on Flamenco.
No, they didn't. You immediately took a fucking.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, well, you immediately went. I wish you would have said it sooner. Why did you hide from that for so long, or some shit?
Who said that? Me?
Yeah, as soon as you were done with it, you weren't like, wow, Flamenco, that was really stupid. Instead, you came in, you're like, well, you know, Nick, you could have said that a lot sooner, or something like that. I was like...
Yeah, you could have.
I don't know, dude. Usually when I'm right in conversations, it doesn't have to be quantified with the amount of time taken to get there.
Alright.
I don't know, dude. I do a lot of fair 3v1 streams or whatever with you and Boblacks or whatever. This one probably more 3v1 than the other one. I kind of joked about 3v1 with the Okies one. You were pretty fucking fair in that one. But I don't know, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't get like much of a
fair shake.
Where's this
music coming from?
Oh, it's I use the 100 Thieves playlist. It's all royalty free. Good for Twitch. I'll send you a link.
Oh,
I don't know. When I go on your streams or whatever, like I get like, not always, but when like stuff like this happens, I do come away sometimes feeling like, you know, that's
okay,
a bit uncharitable.
I will agree with you on that one. Well, I don't know necessarily what the point you're making right now, but I do think that things get a little bit too like hostile and argumentative when you're on stream or something. I do notice that.
It doesn't happen when I'm not on your stream,
people...
but it's only when I get on your stream does like everybody like immediately go debate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I've told you that before. I do agree with
and I know
that.
Boblacks
I do think
agreed with me
for
half
too.
of that conversation and didn't say anything. Like Bo Blacks would be, I'd be like, yeah, I agree with you, Bo Blacks. And then
Okay, in fairness though, all right, in fairness to Bo Blacks, there was like 20,000 times I recognized that he was trying to speak, and everybody fucking kneeled on him. So he was trying, he fucking tried, but like he got shat on in that conversation because unironically nobody let him speak.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
and when Flamenco brought up his first point, Bo Blacks like immediately disagreed. He was like, "Nah, dude, that's not right."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He also immediately disagreed with like the DSP point, but nobody like probed Bo Blacks on his take on the DSP thing. They probed me on it. Immediately said I guess. With that. I'm just saying, like, I'm not the only person in the call who has that. So like gangbanging by like fucking Augie, Bo Blacks, and well, not Bo Blacks actually. I don't think he really said much there. But getting like gangbanged by Augie and Flamenco, and I'm literally not even the only person on the fucking panel who has that take, is funny. That
is fair, and it is something I will take into consideration. Like if I ever like have streams with you and like everybody's just shitting on you, like. Maybe it was not right for me to jump in there because like you were already like
I'm already like
dealing with like 2 people or something.
But again, no, bring them at me. I don't care. Like if you have an issue with what I say, you're welcome to fucking. It's your show. But I'm just saying, it's like.
Well, that's the thing. The only reason why I brought that up, I wasn't trying to like farm content or whatever. It was something I thought about earlier that day, and then it was like relevant to the conversation. So I was like, fuck it, I might as well like get in there or something. Because I don't really like
Look, I do that too. There's things that I'll think about in private, and it'll come out in an argument in a heated conversation. It happens all the time. We usually justify it by saying that we can handle things like publicly and stuff like that. But I can imagine when like me and Bo Blacks are arguing, and I say something fucked up, that might make him a bit upset or something like that. I can absolutely say that I do that, and I think that's kind of what happened a little bit with those last 2 topics last night. I think that was partially. I don't know.
By the way, I was never heated last night or mad at all. I was fucking the entire time I was on like I was fucking pounded.
I thought you were like high as shit.
I was.
Oh, yeah, that's what I could tell. But like, so I'm assuming that like, is this something you and Connor talk about a lot in private?
Sometimes it comes up.
Was this something that you spoke about with Connor that day?
Oh yeah. That's what I was saying. I was like, that's why I was like trying to establish that this is something that I had thought before.
I understand that you didn't want to get involved in the weeds of me versus Connor or bring Connor onto the debate, but you're presenting it like I do something with a lot of people. I don't know in the moment that you're talking about fucking Connor. I have no idea you're talking about Connor. So you're like, you do this on Twitter. So I think, okay, he has a problem with how I treat random fucking people. So I go, here's 50 reasons on why I say this. And then you know what your first answer was, yeah, that guy's retarded. And I'm like, wait a minute. So if I treat people and I just call them retarded just to avoid their conversation, and then I show you an example of me doing that when you're telling me I'm doing that, and you go, well, that guy's retarded. This makes no sense. This contradicts. So if you told me it was about Connor, yeah, sure, maybe I'll come around with, okay, you're defending your friend, but at least there's a debate there. You can't be like, here's the fucking topic, but I'm not going to give you the context. Like, cheese is bad. Well, I don't necessarily know if cheese is bad. Oh, well, I'm lactose intolerant. Oh, yeah, dude, cheese is bad. Let's debate 30 minutes on why cheese is bad without knowing you're fucking lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
Nick's giving semantic arguments about how Augie said things, but reworded what he was saying in his tweet. That argument was so fucking stupid yesterday, too. Everyone was getting, because I said farmed or something. What did I say? Gets farmed as hard as. And everyone had to make that immediately about, like...
When you said farmed, this is what I thought of I thought you were, like, saying that I was being malicious and dragging it out for, like, content. For, like, mid-rolls or, like, super chat. Whatever the fuck. Some monetary gain. That's what I thought you were saying. That's
I meant, like make me look like a douchebag.
As soon as I brought up that point, you were like, you're farming this or whatever. You were and I'm like, wait.
Oh, yeah, like, I thought, like, you're trying to make me look like a douchebag.
Well, why is a critique of you, like...
Well, personally, I didn't think you were telling the truth. I thought you literally just wanted me to fucking... I thought you thought, like, the flamenco thing was easy, like, content or whatever. It was really funny, and it would make the debate better.
I argue... But how do I argue with somebody if you just think everything I say is a lie? Like, when I say it's not about intent, you think I'm lying.
It's not
when
everything.
I say Connor is not about, like, my personal view of your relationship with Connor or whatever, I don't give a fuck about that, but you don't think that's true. Or, like, when I say something like, it's not about super chats, I just wanted to hear the argument, it's not true. Like, everything I bring up...
One. I don't think you were farming me for money.
Okay, well, that's fair.
And now the first one. Repeat the first one again. That was the part where you said, Like,
It's not about tone.
okay, no. All right, so you're talking about like the fucking situation last night where I said that like, oh, you're farming me, and you think that I'm lying when I say that. Oh, like, I think that you're lying when you're like talking about it. The reason why I thought you were like farming me was because, again, I guess like people have like they disagree with my take on this, but like I thought that DSP comparison was outrageously dumb. And for some reason, and I said this earlier in the stream, I guess it's not true, I thought you also said it was kind of stupid when we were first talking about it. I know Bo Black said it was
I was
stupid,
neutral in the position.
but we were all kind of laughing at it because it's just such an outrageous thing. Now, I guess if you thought that was like a legitimate argument and like would like legitimate discourse would happen and like we should deviate into an hour conversation about lolcows, which actually, I guess like it folded a lot faster than that. But again, it could have been. Sure, dude. I understand why you said that now. I just thought last night in the moment that like we all kind of agreed that was a really dumb point. So I was like, "Oh, you're just fucking with me. Like you're gonna bring this up over and over again because you're like, oh, like,
oh no, I
thought you were trying to sell this massive fucking like big point that I was dodging or whatever when you knew full well it was retarded. That's what I was thinking in the moment."
Yeah, no. I was too fucking retarded at that moment to like figure out whether or not like I didn't really understand what Flamenco was saying. That's why I wanted to hear you. I genuinely wanted to hear you guys go through it because I wanted to understand what the fuck Flamenco was talking about and like how he was gonna back that up. Like, because I didn't understand like when Flamenco brought up DSP. Like, I don't really know too much about DSP anyway. So when he brought up DSP, I was just like, wait, what? Where does this? I'm curious. Like, where does this go? Like, what's going on here? And then you were just like, oh, that's moronic or whatever.
Because I was done after
like,
the Prime K's one. Because I'm like, because I talked about cancel culture and how people don't usually stay canceled. And I'm using examples like fucking like Toddy Westbrook, right? Okay, and he's like, well, what about Prime K's? And I'm like, all right, fucking Toddy Westbrook is way more comparable in size with controversy. And Toddy's like probably a much bigger controversy, so she's actually further off the beaten path there. Probably done far worse, and she was able to like regurgitate some of her fucking shit back, and like I don't know, Shane Dawson comes back to lukewarm reception instead of absolutely negative when people were saying that he was like a pedophilic child fucking consumer, cannibal or some shit a month ago, and now some people are like, you know, maybe we should give him a second chance. So like he deviated like off it into like a 20-minute conversation about like Prime K's or whatever just before that. There was no way I was entering the fucking lolcow Kiwi Farms demo for like 5 minutes just so we can agree that they're not comparable. Everyone knows they're not comparable.
Yeah.
Like it's just such a and Bo Blacks agreed with me last night that it was just a stupid fucking sideshow. So I don't know. It was a super weird impromptu 3v1 debate where we're gonna play fucking Phasmophobia, and then Flamenco got added to play Phasmophobia, and then we just started fucking arguing. Because by the way, me and Bo Blacks were done arguing. If I added
Connor to the call, it would have not been an argument at all, bro. That's why I'm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my god.
How come he kept saying he couldn't come in the call last night? I was reading chat.
Oh, he's
Was he
playing League?
Oh
like
my
a
god.
Cringe.
See, that's another reason.
Like
All right, so you're telling me that I have to be nicer to Connor, but he plays League of Legends.
Hey,
that's a better
listen,
reason than I've given so far. Wait a minute.
Right,
he's a fucking League Spurg.
All right, you know what? I concede.
I don't know, bro. I can't believe you harbor League Spurgs in your house. Kinda sussy. Bo Blacks plays League too, I know. Yo, random thing while I have you here, while we absolutely hate each other. Apparently Daft Pino did like a really good thing and we were all douchebags to him. Is that true? Someone told me that.
Nah, basically he was going after this random like Artsberg or something, right? I say Artsberg, they had 200,000 followers, right? Mm-hmm. And he was like, first of all, he went after them for saying the N-word. Then he went after them for like getting news from a 17-year-old when they're 19, basically Call Me Carson. Yeah. And then after that, he was like, I think that it's a chick, right? Or supposedly it's a chick. He's like, I think you've been catfishing the internet and you're actually a dude. And I know your full name and address and all the information about you. And then everybody was like, whoa, that's fucking insane. You're threatening to dox somebody over this? Like, what the fuck?
And then he doxed them.
And then today, well, yeah, he fucking doxed their first name. He doxed that they're from some country. I don't remember.
But if it is like a man trying to get nudes from a kid, then like he would be technically in the right, I guess.
If the age is different, then yeah.
Yeah, if it's like a fucking 40-year-old man, I'd have to argue that he did a good thing. I'm not like a
he just
doxing
really,
person,
like-
but like if it turned out that like this 17-year-old kid was actually 16,
Right.
and the 19-year-old boy was actually a 45-year-old pedophile, like, I mean, we don't have that evidence to prove that, but I would have to probably concede at that point.
Yeah, if that was the case, then he's just like,
if he's
he went
wrong,
through
I
this
think
in
it
the
should be
most-
career-ending.
Yeah. But if he's right, he's right, but he still went through like the most retarded way possible because he's like, I'm gonna dox you, and the next day it's like, oh, actually he's doxing a you know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, that kind of changes the whole
Well, it's not that he's doxing
story.
a pedophile. It would be that he would be doxing a pedophile because they're a pedophile. And then it's like,
Right.
I don't even know if I can criticize that anymore.
Yeah. But opening it up with like the N-word
And it's
stuff,
not even because they're a
it's like-
pedophile. It's because they're a pedophile who's supposedly acting on it. Like, it's all alleged, obviously. But it's not even like,
Right.
Well, I was doxing them because they were bad. Okay, well, I don't know about that one. I was doxing them because they're a pedophile. I'm like, okay, well, that's a bit more. I was doxing them because they're a pedophile who's getting nudes from a kid. Okay, all right. Bro, this is so far on the thing of stuff I don't want to fucking defend, dude. I'm gonna have to give you a pass on that one, buddy. Like, yeah, you could come out the hero that way. I don't know how it's gonna turn out. I don't know if that's true, but, yeah.
The thing is, he's such a moron. Like, he should not be. If he's trying to become like Reddit detective, he's not the one to do that.
Yeah. Again, like, doxing him is probably the wrong way because he probably can nuke all of his hard drives and shit. So
It's a really like interesting situation.
You probably should just contact the police. I mean, if you
But
dude, this
people
guy
right now
says
are
he has his
acting-
address and name, bro. Why wouldn't you go to the police with that? But you actually have the information to do it.
The thing is like, I don't know. Everybody on Twitter right now is acting like he just completely 180'd and he's like a really good guy now or whatever the fuck. It's not one and done. There's still like so much more to like figure out, like, because honestly, this guy's sketchy as fuck.
Well,
The
Daft Pina is like
dude,
unhinged. Yeah, dude. Did you see? I was
Yeah.
going through your replies and I'm like, dude, because I've been doing the meme for. I'm gonna probably continue this meme for the next year. So if you don't like it, I'm sorry. But I said like we can't possibly dismiss this because maybe Daft Pina is telling the truth. So I went on your tweet and someone replied back that they got an ad saying how to come out of the closet or something like that.
Right.
And by his own logic, your fan is gay. Because he got an ad about coming out of the closet. So if we dismissed him, we wouldn't have found out that your fan was gay.
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts, bro? Did you know you had a gay fan?
Oh man, that's the other thing people are bringing up too about him doxing the
Yeah,
or
dude.
him doxing
Somebody
the
chat.
artist.
Fucking Daft Pina is the quartering speed of fucking
Our community.
Our community. That's funny.
Somebody's bringing up like, what if this artist was just like trans or something, right? Like,
Oh my
imagine
god!
imagine
He's
the
done, his career's
backfire on
over.
that one.
Career's fucking over. Gonzo.
Yeah.
Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Anyway, I gotta bounce. I gotta go.
All right, man.
but
When you get a
I'll
chance, you should
talk to
watch
later.
this Pastel Bell video. It's terrible. Chat was
All right,
begging me to
dude.
dismiss her. There was polls
Bro,
about it.
I got a debater.
Wait,
dude.
okay. Oh, I owe you while you're here. I owe you a major apology. I told you you'd never get that debate just to host it. Now you're the actual debate. You can leak those DMs. I told you there's not a fucking chance that she would do this on your fucking misogynistic platform. And not only is that, she called everybody else a misogynist. Probably called Willie Mack a Nazi in this video. I haven't gotten there yet, but it sounds like she's inching it. She's inching it, dude. I owe you like a huge apology because I cannot believe by a stroke of
maybe
God
if Willie
you
Mack-
got it. When is your debate, by the way?
Maybe
for
if Willie
chat?
Mack was like a fair and respectable person who respected women like me, maybe he would have gotten the debate. But he isn't. He's an asshole and a misogynist.
When is it happening,
so
though?
I'll have to pick up the mantle.
I gotta promote it. When is it happening?
I don't know yet. We're like waiting for like the moderator to like hit us back.
Who's the
up or something.
moderator? Is it on your channel?
We don't know yet. 'Cause
Oh my God.
I don't know. I can tell you more behind the scenes, but I mean, I'll definitely be streaming my end of it because why would I not? But yeah.
Wait.
Anyway, I gotta bounce.
All right, yeah. All right, peace. That was fun. Does Edwin want to call in?
Oh shit, all day, pray them niggas go away. Oh, we sell the clowns around, it look like circus show. Like, this is not the album either, these are just the throwaways. This shit's still so cold when it drop, it's gonna be a motherfucking snow day. Hey, boy, it's good and he knows it. He don't say it, he shows it. I'm just like DeRozan. If I shoot it, it goes in. I'm in Cali just coasting. Get him so wet, they